All right, so here we are, one last video from the hotel room in Wisconsin today. You're saying, what are you talking about? Well, if you watch the other two videos that came out today, you will know what's up. Today, though, we're looking at a game that we rented, and not rented, I wish we rented. That'd be great if you could rent games like old school blockbusters and stuff. But we bought this game while on the road in Indiana last week or a couple weeks ago, and we played it, put it on the table. It is the Fox and the Forest quick card game. Now, if you know me, you know quick card games are typically not my style of games. I like good, or big, heavy, meaty games with theme and all that sort of stuff. Whether it be Euro or whether it be Americana style games, I like those kind of games. But I do like games that we can quickly just throw out on the table and play, or quickly play in an airport. Those kind of games. So that is why lately, I've been taking a look at several quick games that you might find a niche for on game night. So this is the Fox and the Forest. It is a two-player trick-taking game all about quickly maneuvering cards out there. Not quickly in the sense of time, but you're having to pick from the 13 cards in your hand and choose which card to play based on the three sets. So here's how you play Fox and the Forest. We'll come back up. We'll talk about it right now. Look, you gotta love a game where all the components are just sitting right here. Boom, here's the scoring markers. Here are the cards. This is a trick-taking game. We know that already. Three suits. There are bells. I want to say moons. And what's the last one? And keys. They are numbered. I believe it's 1 through 13, 1 through 11. What's going to happen is a trick-taking game. You're going to deal 13 cards to each player, which I will do now. The excess cards will go back in the box. You will then evaluate your cards, and it's a trick-taking game from this point. The leader will play in suit. You have to follow suit. If you can't, you can play the trump card, which is the top card off of the deck that is sitting right here. So, for instance, our trump suit is keys, which means if the leader leads with a moon set, well, I have to play moons. However, if I don't have moons, I could play keys, and then a 1 would still trump that 4. Now, that's not the meat of this game. The meat is not, in fact, just playing cards to take tricks, because there are a couple very unique things. Now, the art of the game is pretty, right? You see, well, besides those, I'm talking about the more majestic cards. Each of the 3 woodcutters are different. Each of the monarchs are different. Each of the foxes are different. Each of the swans are different. I'm really not sure. I mean, I know it gives you a theme, but I'm not sure what this is exactly based on. But I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels, the way it is. It's a quick trick-taking game. But anyway, let's talk about what these actual powers do. You get a neat little reference card over here. So Monarch, when you lead this, if your opponent has a card of this suit, they must play either the 1 of the suit or their highest ranked card of the suit, which basically you're flushing their cards out. 9 of which, when determining the winner of the trick, with only one 9, treat the 9 as if it were a trump suit. So if you are the only one that played a 9, it trumps everything. The winner of this trick receives 1 point for each 7 in the trick, which is nice. So if you play 7, you just instantly get more points. The woodcutter, when you play this, draw 1 card, then discard any 1 card to the bottom of the deck face down. Fox, when you play this, you may exchange the decree card with a single card from your hand, which means that you're changing the trump suit. And the Swan, if you play this card, lose the trick, then lead the next trick. So you're going to lose, but you're going to lead. Now, at the end of the game, or at the end of each set, you're going to evaluate these points. First person to get 21 points wins, by the way. If you've only scored 3 tricks or less, you score 6 points. 4, 5, 6 is 1, 2, 3. Then 7 to 9 is 6. And then 10 to 13, you're greedy, you get nothing. First person to play to 21 points wins the game. It is that simple. So that's the Fox and the Forest. It is a 2-player game, like we said. You see how it plays. The fact that there are only 3 suits really puts a lot of pressure and tension. So it distills down a lot of trick-taking games into the fact that those 3 suits are the only 3 things it can be. So it's almost like a paper, rock, scissors that this one's going to beat yours this round if you play the trump suit, or if you play on suits, you're going to win. So having only 3 suits to choose from is an interesting idea. 2-player trick-taking in the first place is an interesting idea. Let me just say, I like the fact that they get around this by having the 3 suits, but having 13 cards each and then 7 cards back in the deck. So you don't know what cards the other person has. We used to play a lot of spades in high school, and the problem was you had an idea of what your partner had based on what everybody plays, especially if you were like, well, let's just play 2-player spades. It doesn't work. So this is a great idea when it comes to trick taking, by just kicking 7 cards out of the deck, so you now don't have a clue what's left. But those cards that you kick out do get to be interacted with based on the different powers, whether you're using the fox and switching the trump card out, I like that, or whether you're doing some of the other card powers that change it. What I do like too is that not every card has a power. So the 1 is a guaranteed loss unless you're playing it on suit. But anyway, the 1's a guaranteed loss pretty much, but you get to lead. So if you know that you need to grab the next several suits, the next several tricks in a row, well, you can throw that 1 out there and take control so that you get to lead. And hopefully you kind of have an idea of what they have in their hand based on how they're playing. I like it because it forces that scientific thinking of trick taking, of forcing you to try to figure out what someone else has. If you notice, if you played the crew, you do this in the opposite way. You're doing this in a way to see, okay, wait, they're not playing that, so let me play this to help them. This is the opposite. You're saying, wait a minute, they're not playing this when I play it, which means they don't have this, which means if I change the trump suit to the one that they do have, well, then I'm messed up. But if I change the trump suit to the other suit that I know I have the most of, well, then I've got the trump suit going for me, and I've got the cards that I know they don't have going for me. So you can really set yourself up to grab several points. I also like the fact that you can gain some bonus points through using the treasure cards and 7s correctly. So really, all in all, it is a quick trick-taking game. Again, this is not typically my style of games, but it is a really good one. The art is cool, it's whimsical. I don't know what it means. Sure, it tells you a backstory in the rules and the instructions. It doesn't really mean anything. There's a fox in the forest and he's doing stuff. I don't know what any of that is. It could be based on myth. Let me know in the comments below. Is this based on some sort of mythos or things like that? Are there foxes in the forest typically with woodcutters? Is this like some sort of Snow White reference? I don't know. Point being is this. Trick taking, while not normally my style, this one's a good example of it. It's cheap. It's easy to get to the table. It basically sets itself up automatically when you pull it out of the box. Shuffle it, deal 13 apiece, leave the 7 there, flip 1 face up. You're ready to go. So that is the Fox in the Forest. Looks good. Theme is whatever it is. Plays really nice, plays very quickly, and it's just a fun, different style of game for myself and our collection. So I'm Bryan Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. at Dice Tower Bryan. Again, I promise you, last video of the day, last video of the Dice Tower, or last video of this random hotel that we're in. Be back in the studio, back at home in the next couple days, shooting some videos, bringing a time story review. That's right, pretty soon. We'll see you soon. I'm Bryan Drake, Dice Tower Bryan, etc.